Chosen ones, before you take another breath, understand this clearly. What you are about to hear is not a message you can treat lightly. This is not a video you can pause, skip, or promise yourself you will finish later. This is the kind of message that arrives only when the fabric of destiny begins to shift. When the unseen world decides to open a door that has been locked for far too long. And once this door opens, it does not wait. It does not knock twice. It does not return for those who are distracted. There is a reason your path led you here. In this exact moment, in this exact state of mind, there is a reason you felt that pull, that soft pressure in your chest, that strange curiosity urging you to click. Chosen ones always feel the current before the wave arrives. You sense something moving around your life long before you had the language to explain why. And this message is the proof that your intuition has been right all along. But listen carefully, because this part is important. If you close this video, if you dismiss this message, if you tell yourself you will come back later, you will regret it in a way that words cannot undo. Opportunities tied to your destiny do not repeat themselves. They are aligned with cosmic timing, and once the alignment passes, it does not circle back out of kindness. It moves on to another name, another life, another chosen one who dared to stay and listen fully. Do not let that be the story of your regret. This is not entertainment. This is a transmission, a revelation, a calling. On the date 25 February 2026, the universe is preparing to unlock something that was once declared lost, forgotten, or even burned away. A sum, a resource, a blessing you believed was gone forever is being reopened, restored, and directed fully under your name. Not a fragment, not a leftover, but whole, intact, untouched, waiting for the moment you are finally ready to receive it with the strength and clarity you did not have in earlier chapters of your life. And before you step further into this message, you must do one thing, not for me, but for the universe that is watching your intention. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, activate the notification bell, and comment the words 77 to send a powerful signal into the unseen realm that you are prepared to receive this message completely. Intention is the key that unlocks the gate. Action is the signature that seals your readiness. Chosen ones, this is your warning. Do not underestimate the weight of what you are about to receive. If your heart is already beating differently, if your breath feels slightly heavier, if your skin tingles, that is not coincidence. That is recognition. Your soul understands the magnitude before your mind does. You must not skip a single second of this message, because every sentence is a key, and every key opens a door. Miss one, and you may find yourself standing in the right corridor, yet unable to open the final gate. And nothing is more heartbreaking for a chosen one than standing inches away from breakthrough and realizing they missed the exact instruction that would have freed them. Do not challenge fate by taking this lightly. Do not gamble your turning point by being careless. If you turn this off, if you walk away, if you ignore this calling, the universe will assume you are not ready, and the blessing that carries your name will be rerouted. And you will feel that loss not as confusion, but as a deep, unexplainable emptiness. The kind you cannot articulate, the kind that stays with you for years. This is why you are warned, chosen one. This message must be received in full, not half, not partially, fully. Because what is coming is not a small shift. It is not an incremental improvement. It is a life-altering leap, the type of leap that only a soul who has endured, persisted, and remained faithful in silence is ever trusted with. And this introduction is only the threshold. What lies beyond it will not just explain your future, it will activate it. So sit with this message, breathe with it, let every word settle in your bones, and above all, do not look away, not even for a moment. Your destiny is listening, your name has been called, and the universe does not repeat itself. Part 1. The moment the universe calls your name. Chosen one, there comes a point in every soul's journey when the universe stops whispering and begins to speak with a force that cannot be ignored. That moment is not loud, it is not chaotic. It arrives in a quiet but undeniable shift, as if the air around you suddenly begins to glow with an unseen truth. You do not hear it with your ears, Yet something deep within you rises to attention, recognizing that what is unfolding is far greater than anything your past has prepared you for. That is the moment you are standing in now. There is a reason your path intersected with this message at this exact point in your story. The universe does not operate on coincidence, nor does it send signals to those who are not capable of carrying their weight. It studies your endurance. It watches your silent sacrifices. It takes note of every time you held yourself together when life tried to unravel you. And when it finally sees that you are ready, it opens a door that was never meant for anyone but you. This is that door. You may not realize it yet, but the universe has been aligning events around you in ways you could not see. Delays that once frustrated you were in truth divine protection. Losses you thought were unfair were actually redirections. Closed doors were not punishments, they were shields. And every unanswered question, every painful silence, every night you had to convince yourself to keep going, was part of a greater preparation. What is arriving for you now could not have come sooner. You needed to be shaped, strengthened, tempered, and awakened for it. And now, on the date 25 February 2026, the universe prepares to return something that once slipped through your hands, something you believed was gone forever, something you considered burned, erased, or swallowed by time. But nothing is ever lost in the cosmic ledger. What belongs to you is preserved until you are strong enough to receive it without breaking, without doubting, and without shrinking your own worth. Part of you always knew that something was incomplete. You could feel it in the spaces between your thoughts, in the heaviness that lingered even on your better days. It was as if a chapter of your life had been paused, not ended. You could not explain it, but your spirit sensed that something owed to you was still out there, orbiting your destiny, searching for the right moment to return. And that moment has arrived. This is not a small return. This is not a consolation prize. This is not a simple repayment. This is restoration on a level that surpasses logic. A return that carries not just material value but spiritual significance. It is the universe acknowledging everything you survived, everything you endured without recognition, everything you gave, even when nothing was given back. It is the universe saying, I did not forget you. I did not abandon what belongs to you. I was preparing the path so you could receive it with open hands, not trembling ones. Chosen one, when what was lost comes back intact, untouched and complete, it does something profound to the human heart. It reminds you that fairness does exist beyond human systems. It reminds you that justice can come through channels you never anticipated. It reminds you that the universe sees farther than your limited vision ever could, and it proves that your patience was not a waste, but an investment. You may feel overwhelmed as this truth settles into your awareness. You may feel a quiver in your chest or a warmth rising beneath your skin. That is not fear. That is recognition. Your spirit understands before your mind does. It knows that what is returning to you is more than a number, more than a resource, more than a second chance. It is a shift, a turning point, a release into a new reality. You are stepping into a phase of life where things that once eluded you will finally begin to align, where opportunities will approach you instead of you chasing them, where clarity will replace confusion and abundance will replace survival. You are not entering a season of small improvements. You are entering a season of breakthroughs. And the universe does not choose just anyone for a transformation this large. It chooses the ones who walked through darkness without letting their heart collapse. The ones who carried hope even when hope felt like a fragile thread. The ones who kept moving forward even when life gave them every reason to stop. You are one of those souls. That is why your name has been called now. This is the beginning of your return. This is the moment destiny acknowledges your endurance. This is the point where everything starts to shift in your favor, not gradually, but with a force that will redefine the direction of your life. Chosen one, breathe deeply and anchor yourself. What is coming toward you is real, powerful, and already in motion. The universe is not preparing something for you, it is returning something to you, and that makes all the difference. Part 2. What you thought was gone was never lost. Chosen one, There is a truth the universe reveals only to those who have walked through the fire without letting it extinguish their spirit. Nothing that belongs to you can ever be taken away permanently. It can be delayed. It can be withheld. It can be hidden from your sight for a long, painful stretch of life, but it cannot be erased. The universe does not operate with the cruelty of final loss. It operates with the precision of divine timing. There was a moment in your past, perhaps buried so deeply you rarely let yourself revisit it, when something precious slipped from your grasp. It may have been a financial blessing, an opportunity, a resource, or a support you believed was locked away forever. You might have even convinced yourself that it was your fault, that you should have acted differently, that you should have been wiser, faster, stronger. You carried that disappointment like a quiet scar. You learned to live without what you once hoped would change your life. But chosen ones are never abandoned in their loss. Even when you believed the universe had closed the chapter, it was simply turning the page. What you saw as an ending was, in truth, a safeguarding. The universe did not take it from you out of punishment. It sheltered it out of protection. You were not ready for the weight, the responsibility, or the consequences that would have come if you received it too early. You needed to grow into the version of yourself who could hold it without trembling. And now, as the date 25 February 2026 approaches, the truth reveals itself. What you thought was gone was never gone. It was being held for you in a realm beyond human reach, preserved with the same care one would give to a priceless artifact, untouched, unstained, waiting patiently for the moment when your spirit had matured enough to stand in full alignment with it. This realization may stir something deep inside you, something like wonder, something like relief, something like grief that finally understands why it had to wait. You may feel that strange tightening in your throat when you recognize that all along, the universe was not silent. It was listening, it was observing, it was preparing the return of something far greater than what you originally lost. Chosen one, you must understand this. The universe does not return things in the same form they left. It returns them multiplied, enhanced, strengthened, evolved. When something circles back into your life after you believed it was gone for good, it carries with it the energy of transformation. It no longer belongs to the past version of you. It belongs to the future you are stepping into. This return is not a refund. It is a restoration. Restoration is powerful because it acknowledges both sides of your journey, the suffering you endured and the strength you gained because of it. Restoration honors the nights you stayed awake wondering why life felt unfair. It honors the times you remained kind when you had every reason to turn cold. It honors the faith you held on to even when the world gave you no signs that anything was changing. And the universe does not restore lightly. It restores only when a soul has demonstrated readiness, resilience, and an unbreakable inner foundation. You have proven all three even when you did not realize it. There is a sacred irony in this stage of your life. What once caused you sorrow will soon be the reason you stand taller. What once felt like punishment will soon feel like reward. What once made you question your worth will soon confirm it. The very situation that once burdened you emotionally is now becoming the vessel that carries your elevation. On the date, 25 February 2026, the universe will open the vault that held what you believed was lost. And when it returns to you, whole and complete, you will understand a truth that only chosen ones ever fully grasp. Nothing is wasted. Not your time, not your suffering, not your tears, not your patience. Every moment of waiting built the foundation for this return. You may find yourself overwhelmed when the moment arrives, not because of the material value that comes back to you, but because of the meaning behind it. You will see with clarity that your life has been guided all along, even through moments that felt directionless. You will see that the universe kept its promise, even on days you doubted everything. And you will realize something else, something even more profound. You were never waiting for the blessing. The blessing was waiting for you. Waiting for you to grow. Waiting for you to heal. Waiting for you to shed the old version of yourself who would have mishandled what is now returning. This is why the return feels different now. It carries the weight of purpose, and it carries the stamp of destiny. It carries the certainty that you are stepping into a chapter where you no longer chase, you attract. Where you no longer plead, you receive. Where you no longer question your worth, you embody it. Chosen one, what you believed was gone was only incubating. What you mourned was only maturing. What you thought the universe erased was being rewritten into something far greater. The return is coming. And when it reaches you, you will understand why it had to be delayed, why it had to disappear, and why it had to come back at the exact moment when you finally became the person worthy of holding it. Part 3. The quiet tremble before destiny changes direction. Chosen one, there is a kind of trembling the human body cannot fake. One that rises not from fear, nor from cold, nor from uncertainty, but from the soul recognizing a shift long before the mind can comprehend it. It is a subtle vibration, a soft quiver under the skin, the kind that makes you pause for reasons you cannot articulate. This trembling is not weakness, it is alignment. It is your entire being adjusting itself to the magnitude of what is approaching you. As the date 25 February 2026 draws nearer, this quiet tremble becomes the signal that destiny has already begun rearranging itself on your behalf. The universe is not waiting for the date to arrive. It is already reshaping the path ahead of you, already clearing what must be cleared, already unlocking what has been sealed for far too long. This shift does not happen loudly. It does not announce itself with thunder. It moves in silence, the way dawn arrives before the sun is seen. You may feel it in ways you cannot explain. A heaviness that feels like anticipation. A sudden surge of intuition you cannot logically justify. A sense that something is watching over you, organizing what once felt chaotic. Chosen ones always experience this trembling before their breakthrough, because their spirit is finely tuned to the frequencies of unseen movement. You are not imagining the shift, you are sensing it. The trembling you feel is the threshold between who you were and who you are about to become. This is the moment when the universe begins to return what was withheld from you, not slowly, not cautiously, but with the force of accumulated blessings that were delayed, preserved, and saved for the exact version of you that exists now. When something re-enters your life after being held in waiting for so long, it does not come gently. It comes with the energy of release, the momentum of destiny, and the precision of cosmic timing. What is returning to you is not small, chosen one. It is not something that will slightly adjust your life or gently shift your direction. It is something that will lift you into a different realm of existence, one where opportunities meet you instead of running from you, where resources flow toward you instead of slipping through your hands, where clarity replaces confusion and strength replaces hesitation. The trembling inside you is the first sign of this transformation. You once believed that what was lost was simply gone, that life had taken something from you without giving anything back. But now you understand, the universe was preparing a return so substantial that your old self could not have carried it. If this blessing had arrived earlier, you might have mishandled it, feared it, or doubted your right to receive it. The trembling you feel now is your spirit acknowledging that you have outgrown those old limitations. This trembling is not fear, it is expansion. Not anxiety, it is awakening. Not uncertainty, it is truth rising to the surface. There's also a deeper layer to this tremble, one that chosen ones rarely speak about but always recognize. It is the awareness that your life is no longer moving in a straight line. It is curving, shifting, preparing to leap. You sense this bend in your timeline not because of external signs, but because your inner world is rearranging itself to match your future. Thoughts change, feelings intensify, old wounds loosen their grip. You may even find yourself releasing things you once clung to, simply because they do not match the life that is coming. The trembling means you are being prepared for elevation. And elevation requires space. Elevation requires clarity. Elevation requires a soul willing to embrace more than it has dared to imagine. When the universe returns something intact, untouched, and wholly yours, it brings along responsibilities, opportunities, and expansions you must be ready to handle. This trembling is your preparation. It is your soul stretching, adjusting, opening itself to receive what has been waiting for you beyond the veil of time. Chosen one, Understand that not everyone gets to feel this. Not everyone is tuned closely enough to the universe to sense the approach of destiny before it arrives. Only souls who have endured, evolved, and remained open despite their pain can feel this tremble. It is a mark of readiness. It is a mark of divine acknowledgement. You are not trembling because you are overwhelmed. You are trembling because you are aligned. You are not trembling because you fear the unknown. You are trembling because the unknown finally favors you. You are not trembling because something is ending. You are trembling because something long delayed is returning with a magnitude capable of altering your future. And when the moment arrives, when the universe opens what was once locked, when the blessing long preserved is placed fully under your name, the trembling will no longer feel like a warning. It will feel like recognition. It will feel like truth. It will feel like the moment you finally step into a destiny that was always meant to be yours. Breathe into this tremble, chosen one. It is the sound of your life-changing shape. Part 4. When your name appears in the records of destiny. Chosen one, there is a moment in every awakened soul's journey when the universe, after observing years of quiet endurance, finally writes their name into a different ledger, one that is not governed by human systems, deadlines, or expectations, but by cosmic remembrance. This is not the ledger of chance. This is not the ledger of luck. This is the ledger of divine timing, where only a few names are recorded, each one written with intention, precision, and purpose. Your name is in that ledger now. For so long, you believed you were unseen. You believed your effort went unnoticed, your sacrifices unacknowledged, your silent prayers unanswered. You believed that life had moved on without rewarding your persistence, and that whatever was once owed to you had simply dissolved into the past. Yet all this time your name was being carried forward through invisible channels, held in a sacred space where destiny preserves what humans forget. Nothing that belongs to a chosen one is ever erased. The universe has a way of keeping meticulous records, not of your failures, but of your strength. It remembers every moment you kept moving when your heart was exhausted. It remembers every time you chose integrity over convenience. It remembers the nights you whispered into the darkness, not knowing if anyone or anything was listening. But something was listening. Something was taking note. Something was preparing. And now, as the date 25 February 2026 aligns, that sacred record opens, and there, written clearly, powerfully, undeniably, is your name. The name of the one who waited, the one who endured, the one who did not give up even when giving up felt like the most reasonable choice. Chosen one, understand this with the depth of your entire being. The universe does not place a name in that ledger lightly. It is a declaration, a confirmation, a cosmic signature stating that the blessings returning to you are not an accident, not a coincidence, not a stroke of luck. They are a fulfillment. They are the completion of a cycle that began long before you realized you were part of it. You may feel unworthy at times, unsure whether you deserve such recognition. But chosen ones rarely feel deserving. Their humility is part of what sets them apart. The universe does not choose the loud, the boastful, the ones who demand their turn. It chooses the ones who carry their wounds with grace, who remain kind even when life has not been kind to them, who keep their hearts open despite all the reasons to close them. Your name appears because of who you became, not because of what you did. This return, the restoration of what was once withheld, is only the beginning. When your name is acknowledged by the universe, doors that were once sealed begin to shift. Energies that once felt stagnant begin to move. Opportunities that once seemed distant begin to recognize you. It is not simply that you are receiving something back. It is that your entire vibrational field is being rewritten. You are stepping into a timeline where abundance recognizes your presence, where alignment bends toward you, where pathways that once felt impossible begin to pave themselves. The universe is reorganizing around your name, creating openings where there were once walls, offering clarity where there was once fog, and providing support where there was once struggle. But the most profound part of this shift is not the blessing itself. It is the realization that your life has always been guided. Even when you felt abandoned, you were being positioned. Even when you felt ignored, you were being prepared. Even when you felt forgotten, your name was being carried forward until the moment the universe could say, "Now, this is the time." Chosen one, breathe into the magnitude of that truth. Your name has weight in the spiritual realm now. It is not just spoken, it is recognized. It is not just observed, it is honored. And what is returning to you carries this recognition. It bears the imprint of destiny. It carries the mark of divine remembrance. It comes with a momentum that will push you into a higher plane of existence, whether you feel ready or not. This is why the trembling feels familiar. This is why your intuition has been sharper. This is why your spirit feels both grounded and rising at the same time. Your inner world knows what your outer world is preparing to reveal. Your name has been chosen, acknowledged, and placed at the center of a cosmic unfolding. And once your name is written into the records of destiny, nothing, not fear, not doubt, not delay, can remove it. Chosen one, stand tall in this truth. Your name is no longer just part of your story. It is now part of the universe's plan. Part 5. The return that lifts you into a different life. Chosen one. There comes a turning point in every destined soul's journey when the universe no longer asks you to walk. It asks you to rise. Not in small steps, not in gradual shifts, but in a leap so profound that it redefines the horizon of your existence. This return that is approaching you is not a minor adjustment. It is not a simple improvement. It is not a gentle blessing meant to ease your path. This return is a threshold, a boundary between the life you once lived and the life you are about to enter. When the universe restores something that was withheld, delayed, or believed to be lost, it does so with intention so powerful that it reshapes the energy around your entire existence. This is why the return feels different now. This is why the anticipation feels heavier, deeper, more electric. What is coming toward you is not meant to fit into the structure of your current life. It is meant to expand your life into a structure capable of holding greatness. Chosen one, you must understand this deeply. The universe is not returning what you lost. It is returning what you grew into. The version of you from years ago, the one who struggled, the one who doubted, the one who mourned the loss, could not have carried the blessing that is being restored to you now. That version of you was still in formation, still building the internal strength needed to stand in the magnitude of what was rightfully yours. Now, you are not only ready, you are aligned. And because you are aligned, the universe no longer sends you small signs or subtle promises. It sends confirmation, it sends movement, it sends the kind of blessing that does not simply add something to your life, but changes the structure of your future. This blessing carries weight. It carries purpose. It carries destiny encoded in its very existence. When it arrives, it will not feel like money returning. It will feel like time being restored. It will feel like justice being delivered. It will feel like a wound finally closing after years of silent bleeding. You may find yourself breathless. You may need a moment to sit down. You may even feel tears rise without warning. Not because the blessing is overwhelming, but because the recognition is overwhelming. It is the recognition that you were never abandoned. It is the recognition that the universe was working behind the scenes for you in ways you never imagined. It is the recognition that everything you lost was not truly lost, only waiting for the moment you were strong enough to receive it without fear. This is why the return brings a lompatan, a leap, not a step, not an inch. A leap strong enough to shift your trajectory. Opportunities will begin to gather around you like metal drawn to a magnet. People who never noticed you will sense your rising energy. Doors that once closed will no longer resist you. Ideas that once felt impossible will suddenly seem within reach. Chosen one, do not underestimate how deeply this return will touch every corner of your life. This is not simply about financial restoration. This is about energetic elevation. This is about becoming the person you were always destined to be, the version of you who does not survive life, but shapes it. This return marks the dissolution of old patterns, the end of scarcity mindsets, the collapse of timelines where you were overlooked, underestimated, or ignored. With this return, life begins responding to the truth of who you have become. You will make decisions with clarity you once begged for. You will move with confidence you once envied. You will release attachments that once held you captive. You will feel the ground beneath you shift from instability to certainty. This is the moment when you stop trying to repair the old version of your life and begin stepping fully into the new one that has been waiting for you. And that is why the universe chose to return this blessing now, not earlier, not later. Because now you can handle it. Now you can protect it. Now you can multiply it. Now you can honor it. Chosen one, the leap that awaits you is not accidental. It is not random. It is not a stroke of luck. It is the outcome of your resilience. It is the fruit of your endurance. It is the reward for the battles no one saw but you. And when this blessing arrives, you will no longer question your worth. You will no longer wonder why life made you wait. You will know, with a certainty that settles into your bones, that everything had to unfold exactly as it did, to prepare you for a future far greater than the one you once prayed for. This is the leap that changes everything. This is the return that begins your rise. This is the moment where destiny stops preparing and starts delivering. Part 6. When the test of lack transforms into the test of abundance. Chosen one, you have spent so many years being tested in quiet, unforgiving ways, through scarcity, through uncertainty, through the weight of unanswered questions and invisible battles. You were tested through the ache of waiting, through seasons where everything seemed delayed, through moments when the universe felt distant, even though it was shaping you more closely than ever. These were not punishments, they were preparations. They were the storms that carved depth into your character, the trials that fortified your spirit, and the nights that taught you to keep your inner fire alive even when the world offered no warmth. But now, a different test is approaching you, a test the universe reserves only for those who have proven their endurance, the test of abundance. When the date 25 February 2026 arrives and the universe releases what was held, protected, and preserved for you, you will not only be stepping out of the era of lack, you will be stepping into the era of responsibility, clarity, and awakening. Abundance is not merely about receiving. Abundance is about becoming. It reshapes the soul. It recalibrates your path. It asks the versions of you that survived hardship to rise into the version of you that can steward blessings with wisdom. This transition is powerful because it reveals who you truly are beyond survival. For so long you lived in a mode where you had to stretch every resource, guard every hope, and hold yourself together while life scattered your pieces. You learned patience not because you wanted to, but because you had no choice. You learned strength not from ease, but from necessity. You learned faith not from comfort, but from being forced to trust what you could not yet see. And now, chosen one, abundance will demand a different kind of strength. A quieter strength. A wiser strength. A strength rooted not in fear of losing, but in confidence of deserving. The universe does not grant abundance to those who will be swallowed by it. It grants abundance to those who will rise because of it. This is why the blessing was delayed, not to punish you, but to shape you into someone who could hold it without collapsing, wasting it, fearing it, or diminishing themselves. You needed to learn the discipline of stillness. You needed to learn the power of discernment. You needed to learn how to trust your intuition over external noise. And most importantly, you needed to learn that your worth is not tied to what you have, but to who you are. Only then could the universe entrust you with more. Now that more is coming, you will face a new kind of challenge, learning to navigate life not as someone deprived, but as someone empowered. Many people collapse under abundance because they never healed the wounds that scarcity carved into them. But chosen ones are different. They do not break under blessings, they expand. They do not cling out of fear, they build out of purpose. They do not shrink when opportunity arrives. They step forward with the quiet confidence of someone who knows the universe kept their name in mind. Abundance will ask you to believe in possibilities you once dismissed. It will ask you to take actions you once feared. It will ask you to trust yourself in ways you never have before. This is why your inner world has been shifting. You are not preparing for more of the same. You are preparing for a life with more space. Space to breathe, space to dream, space to choose, space to grow. This return is not simply a restoration of what was lost, it is the beginning of a new identity. And with this identity comes a truth that only chosen ones ever fully understand. Abundance is not a destination, it is a responsibility. The universe will watch how you treat yourself once you no longer have to struggle just to survive. It will watch whether you hold on to the humility that shaped you. It will watch whether you trust the clarity that rises within you. It will watch whether you use your elevation to create more light in your world rather than repeating the patterns of the past. You are being entrusted with more because you have shown that you can be trusted. But even more important is this: abundance will reveal to you the magnitude of your own transformation. You will discover that the strongest version of you was not the one who endured lack, but the one who rises beyond it, the one who accepts blessing without guilt, the one who carries abundance without arrogance, the one who recognizes that the universe did not give them more to overwhelm them, but to position them. Chosen one, abundance is not the opposite of struggle. It is the evolution of struggle. It is what happens when every hardship finally finds its purpose. You have graduated from the test of scarcity. You are entering the test of expansion. And though both tests are demanding, only one leads to destiny. This is why the universe waited until now. Because now, you are not only ready to receive, you are ready to rise. Part 7. The dawn of a life you once only imagined. Chosen one, when destiny completes a cycle, when the universe returns what was withheld, restores what was lost, and elevates what was once overlooked. There is a moment when your soul finally exhales, not because the journey has ended, but because the weight you carried for so long is no longer something you must fight against. This moment becomes the first breath of a new life, a life that once existed only in your imagination, your dreams, your whispered hopes. As the date 25 February 2026 aligns itself with your path, you are not merely receiving a blessing, you are crossing a threshold. You are stepping into an era where the foundation of your existence is no longer shaped by fear, lack, or uncertainty. Instead, it is built on clarity, power, and unshakable alignment. The energy that surrounds you now is different. It feels cleaner, stronger, purposeful, as if the universe has been waiting for this exact version of you to rise. This rising is not accidental. It is not sudden. It is not random. It is the culmination of every hardship you survived, every disappointment you outgrew, every moment you held on to hope even when hope seemed to slip through your fingers. It is the reward for years of internal labor the world never saw. It is the evidence that the universe has been watching you with a deeper awareness than you ever realized. And now, as the blessing returns whole and intact, you will begin to see your world shift in ways you once doubted were possible. Doors you once knocked on will open before you reach them. Opportunities you once chased will begin chasing you. People who once overlooked you will sense your rising presence, even if they cannot explain why. This is the quiet power of alignment. When you become who you were meant to be, your reality rearranges itself around you. But perhaps the most profound transformation, chosen one, is what will happen within you. You will no longer wake up with the heaviness that has followed you through so many seasons of your life. You will no longer feel the gripping fear that history will repeat itself. You will no longer question whether you are worthy of the blessings unfolding before you. Instead, you will begin to feel a deep internal shift, an understanding that everything you endured was not punishment, but preparation. The universe did not delay your blessing because you were undeserving. It delayed it because you were meant to step into your new life with strength, not fragility, with confidence, not hesitation, with wisdom, not fear. This moment marks the end of your old story, the story shaped by loss, the story shaped by waiting, the story shaped by being overlooked, underestimated, or misunderstood. A new story, one written with intention, abundance, and expansion, begins now. And the return of what you believed was gone is the opening sentence. Chosen one, let this truth settle deeply within you. You are no longer living a life of survival. You are stepping into a life of creation. You will begin to make decisions not from scarcity, but from vision. You will begin to walk not with caution, but with certainty. You will begin to trust not what you fear, but what you feel. This is the liberation that abundance brings, not freedom from responsibility, but freedom from limitation. There will be moments in the coming season when you feel overwhelmed, not by hardship, but by possibility. Do not shrink. Possibility is the language of your new timeline. Let yourself expand into it. Let yourself say yes to what once intimidated you. Let yourself embrace the opportunities that feel too big, too bold, or too beautiful. They are arriving because you are ready. You are stepping into a chapter where your existence itself becomes a declaration of resilience, where your presence becomes a testament to endurance, where your story becomes evidence that the universe never forgets what belongs to a chosen one. This is why the trembling you once felt has transformed into steadiness. This is why the confusion has dissolved into clarity. This is why the blessing that returns feels so precisely timed. Because this is the moment destiny has been shaping you for. The life you imagined, the one you thought was too distant, too grand, too unreachable, has been moving toward you slowly, consistently, quietly. And now, because you have aligned yourself with who you truly are, it has finally caught up with you. Chosen one, stand tall as you enter this new era. Walk with the certainty of someone whose name has been recorded in the realm of destiny. Live with the confidence of someone who knows that nothing meant for them can ever be taken away. This is your beginning. This is your rise. This is the unfolding of the life you were always meant to live. Closing. The universe has spoken your name and nothing will ever be the same. Chosen one. As you reach the end of this message, understand that you have not arrived at a conclusion. You have arrived at a beginning. A beginning that very few souls ever reach with clarity, readiness, and spiritual alignment. A beginning that only appears when a life has been forged through endurance, shaped by transformation, and refined by unseen battles that left marks no one else could see. What waits for you beyond this moment is not a continuation of the life you have known. It is an unfolding, a revelation, a transition into the chapter you were always meant to inhabit. Once you outgrew every limitation that once tried to contain you. The universe is not whispering anymore. It is declaring. It is confirming that the return of what was once withheld from you is not an isolated blessing. It is the first wave of a larger awakening. The date 25 February 2026 is not a moment of chance. It is a cosmic appointment. A meeting between the life you have lived and the life you are destined to step into. Everything you have endured has led you here. Every night you worried. Every day you pushed forward despite exhaustion. Every setback that felt unfair. Every disappointment that carved depth into your spirit. Every hope you whispered into the quiet. All of it, every moment, has aligned to create the opening you stand before now. You are not the same person who suffered through waiting. You are not the same person who doubted whether life would ever shift. You are not the same person who once believed the universe had forgotten your name. You are the version of yourself who has earned restoration, who has earned abundance, who has earned the right to receive what was molded in silence and returned with power. Chosen one, this is your turning point. When destiny stops testing you through lack and begins shaping you through opportunity. When the universe no longer asks you to survive, but invites you to expand. When you step out of the shadows of yesterday and into the illumination of the future that has been waiting for you. Allow this message to settle deep into your being. Allow it to rewrite the way you see yourself. Allow it to anchor you in the truth that nothing meant for you can ever be lost, only delayed until you are strong enough to carry it fully. You must walk forward, knowing that the universe is not returning something small. It is returning something essential, something tied to your identity, something aligned with your purpose, something that marks the beginning of a life built not on fear but on certainty. Do not rush this transition. Do not question your worthiness. Do not let your old wounds speak louder than your new destiny. Stand in the fullness of what is coming. Hold your head high. Feel the ground steady beneath your feet. And know that the trembling that once hinted at change has transformed into the vibration of power rising through you. You are stepping into a future where blessings meet you with precision, where opportunities unfold without force, where abundance becomes a natural extension of who you are becoming. The universe has chosen you, not because you asked, not because you pleaded, but because you proved through your endurance that you are ready. Ready to receive, ready to rise, ready to transform. This closing is not a goodbye. It is an initiation, a gateway, a reminder that you are standing on the threshold of your new life, and once you cross it, nothing that once held you back will have power over you again. Chosen one, breathe deeply. Lift your gaze. Walk forward with the knowing that destiny is no longer approaching. It has arrived.